Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana has announced that additional spending for education will be revised down 29.5 billion rand, announced in March, to 19.5 billion rand. The preservation of teaching posts will be prioritised, while the early childhood education subsidy will increase from 17 rand to 24 rand per child. National Teachers Union General Secretary Doctor Ngema joins us for more. Dr. Ngema, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. Finance Minister's latest budget has trimmed the basic education allocation down from what he proposed in March. What's your reaction?
Well, good evening, Paul, and good evening to the viewers at home. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and we really appreciate it. Look, we feel very much devastated as a sector in education, looking into the initial offer or allocation of about 332 billion rand and in March, and now it has decreased to 329 billion rand. That is about 2.8 billion rand slash. And we know really we feel that the Department of Education should be allocated better, a budget because the decrease will obviously affect the issue of the filling of posts, the issue of the infrastructure development, issues of scholar transport and the likes. When you look into the issue of the filling of vacancies, we were having a meeting with the department sometime last week where they reported that there is a vacancy rate of about 6.9% in all provinces, and they need about 20 billion rand, just to cater for budget deficits in the provinces. So you can understand the situation will be dire on the ground after the the decrease or diminishing of the allocation by 2.8 billion rand.
Yeah. As you mentioned some of those challenges, we know that really the reductions come at a time when public schools continue to grapple with overcrowding, infrastructure decay, and poor learning outcomes. What impact will the reduced allocations have on the long-standing constraints and some of the structural problems in the key service areas in education?
Well, Paul, undoubtedly the issue of the quality of teaching and learning will obviously be compromised. If you do not have a sufficient workforce in the school, obviously it means to say that some of the learning areas or subjects may not be taught, and learners will obviously suffer. It is going to affect the learning outcomes. Also going to the issue of infrastructure, really. If you look into our schools, the infrastructure is so dilapidated. We sit with a report that was, issued at some point early this year by Human Rights Commission, suggesting that there are more than 420 schools in one province, Eastern Cape, with pit latrines. So with this reduction in the budget, obviously the situation is going to worsen. But looking particularly into the quality of teaching and learning, it is going to exacerbate, the issue of learning gaps, because learners will come to school at some point not having teachers to teach some of the subject. And with that, really, we are saying that the education should not be, be subjected to budget cuts. If you look into the funding for teacher posts, initially in March, the Minister of Finance allocated 19.1 billion rand, but came yesterday where he reduced that and put about 9.5 billion rand. Initially, that was going to save about 11,000 teaching posts, and this time around is only saying it's going to save only about 5,500. I'm only talking more about the issue of the current funded post. We are not only talking about the post that should be created as a result of the increase in the learner enrollment, because actually the learner enrollment has increased such that we, as teachers, are experiencing overcrowding in our classrooms, where we've got more than 70 learners in one classroom, which makes, teaching and learning very much difficult where we've got so many learners. So actually, we are saying, as National Teachers Union, we expect the Department of Finance to allocate more funding, but not to reduce it, because it is going to affect the quality of teaching and learning.
As you speak about class sizes, I mean, we know that the foundation phase of schooling really has the highest amount of big classrooms, which are at this point already high. What does it mean then with these slashes of teaching posts?
Like I said, really the quality is going to be compromised. But further than that, if you look into our levels of numeracy and literacy, particularly at the foundation phase, is very low, and that would have been suggested by the findings of the international assessments that were conducted sometime last year and the year before, saying that South African learners are falling below the benchmark, and that is not good at all. So we need to invest more into foundation phase by ensuring that we put more funding and ensure that teachers are available for those young ones. But we must also indicate, Mpo, to say we welcome the additional funding of 10 billion rand for early childhood development. But we are of the view that it should have been increased. This has been, has frozen and fixed from, 2019 at only 17 rand. But this time around, it has increased to 24 rand. We appreciate that and welcome it. But we still of the view that early childhood development needs more funding to assist formalizing the sector as well as developing the teaching materials.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. And that reaction, National Teachers Union's General Secretary, Dr. Ngema.